The one-of-a-kind WallStreetBets subreddit is the only place on Earth where people share that they've lost their entire life savings, while others 25x their money with ease in the same month, and some of them even make millions. In this video, we're going to cover some of the most impressive WallStreetBets gains. We'll tell you stories of traders who saw their investments skyrocket by over 1,000%, and one of them even made more than a staggering $20 million. So don't miss out. Welcome back to PST Markets. First off, we have user LoveSosa21, who decided to take a massive risk on SoFi calls in February of this year. He posted, "Put my actual rent money for February on SoFi earnings calls. Am I about to be evicted?" When he posted this, SoFi was reporting earnings in 3 days, and its stock was trading at $7.62. If SoFi's stock price didn't increase, LoveSosa would be in a very tough situation. As he said, "This is actually my rent money for February, that's not a joke." And so SoFi reported earnings on Monday, and fortunately for LoveSosa, the company's earnings report was more than amazing. Following the earnings, the stock jumped over 20%, and LoveSosa shared a screenshot that showed a 141% gain. Risking your rent money might sound completely insane, but that's actually the tamest trade on WallStreetBets. Take user Fosterian18, for example, who recently posted that he made more than $8 million, which is 2,500% gain in 2 months, and that's more than $20 million and 5,000% gain since April 2023. This user actually gained 3,000% last year and reached over $12 million in August. He stopped trading and split the money into dividend stocks and some real estate, but half of the money he made went to pay estimated taxes to the IRS. He then says he got bored and started trading again in November with about $350,000 that he had left in his trading account that was sitting on shares of Nvidia. Then he hit around $2 million by the end of 2023 and quadrupled it since the new year, and ended his post by saying he wanted to prove his initial success wasn't just a fluke, and he most certainly did. Moving on to the next WallStreetBets trader, we have user PatWright333, who posted this screenshot in May of 2023. Thanks to Nvidia's role in the recent AI boom, Pat bought 4,400 Nvidia shares at $11.64 in 2016, well before the stock saw a massive jump in its price, investing a total of $50,000. Since they held onto it for nearly a decade, Pat's Nvidia position reached a whopping $1.7 million in May of 2023. What's even better is that Pat came back to the subreddit in 2024 and posted this, showing that they made a gain of nearly 5,000% and their position in Nvidia was now worth over $2 million. For the next trade, we have user Potato111A, who shared this screenshot with the simple caption of 4,000%. This user was able to rack up an astonishing gain of over $250,000. Starting with only about $6,000 in their account. They managed to do this with the help of CleanSpark calls, Nvidia calls, and SPY calls. Many people thought Potato was faking these gains, or at least lying about the amount of money they started with originally, and in response to this, Potato started posting multiple screenshots that showed their trading activity over the past 30 days, and this resulted in people telling them to just take the money out and quit trading, funnily enough. The next trade we'll talk about isn't a WallStreetBets trade, but it's still an insane story of a Reddit user that made insane gains on Reddit. This user is maybe Awesome22, who has been active on many stock-related subreddits, like Short Squeeze, for over a year, and they would post about stocks that had short squeeze potential. This brings us to the 27th of January in 2023, when maybe Awesome22 made a post that said, Arvana stock huge spike in short interest increasing higher and higher 65% to 86% from previous 50%. When they made that post, Carvana was trading at $7.77, which was about 98% from its all-time high of $360. It was clear that most people who originally backed Carvana lost faith in the company, and many hedge funds saw an opportunity for profit in shorting the stock. Despite the non-stop downfall in Carvana's stock, members of the short squeeze saw big potential for a short squeeze in the stock because hedge funds had a massive short interest in it. And over the next few days, what no one thought was possible actually happened. Carvana's stock went up by more than 100% within just a week, and maybe Awesome22 went on Reddit to celebrate their success with everyone on short squeeze. Members of the subreddit talked about how they would sell after Carvana's stock went to $14.20, or up 40%, in one day to lock in their gains, but they ultimately decided on holding their Carvana shares. This proved to be a bad decision as Carvana's short squeeze would come to a stop, and the stock actually continued to drop back to the $6 range afterwards. Maybe Awesome22 slowed posting about Carvana as the stock declined, but they'd make their return to the subreddit again after Carvana suddenly jumped 88% in 1 week after the company beat earnings expectations for Q3 of 2023 and was finally rising again. In the 2 months after that, Carvana would see around 900% gains at its peak, and you can imagine just how excited the short squeeze community was at this. On the 12th of July, maybe Awesome22 returned to the subreddit to post a screenshot that showed a gain of 4,000% from Carvana's stock. The screenshot also showed that they had over $52,000 worth of calls that expired in August, but maybe Awesome22 confirmed that they have already locked in over $100,000 worth of profits from Carvana. This means that even if Carvana tanked again, this user would still walk away with pretty big gains from what they already sold. Now, let's talk about user JimBeam145, who posted a screenshot of their portfolio 4 years ago titled, "It ain't much, but it's honest work," which is a bit funny because they bought around 4,400 shares of Shopify at a share price of around $72.14 for around $320,000. They said that they chickened out and sold half of their shares when Shopify's stock reached $180, but held the rest until the stock soared to a whopping $500, which skyrocketed their portfolio to $1 million. You might consider this pure luck, considering that Jim's portfolio consisted purely of just Shopify, but it's still an impressive trade nonetheless. Having a portfolio with just one stock is an extremely risky play, but for the next WallStreetBets member, we'll talk about risk means nothing. 2 years ago in January, user JackLock366 bought $17,000 worth of Amazon calls, betting that the stock would go up during earnings. The stock did go up, and Jack exited when his calls were worth just a bit over $75,000, but he didn't stop here. He said that he would enter the trade again when things looked better for Amazon, as market conditions weren't good in January. So he came back again in March, went all in and bought $75,000 worth of Amazon calls, and this bet sent his investment to an unbelievable $630,000. Just take a moment to really let this sink in. A trade that took only 2 steps, taking $17,000 to $630,000 in just 2 months. Now that we've reached the end of this video, it's important to note that while it's fun to learn about these trades and see the gains some people make, many people also lose tons of money and document their losses on WallStreetBets. So it's not possible to always keep winning, and these trades shouldn't entice you to go all in on something just like the one person who went all in on one stock. It's important to learn from other people's trading mistakes, and always do your own due diligence and diversify to make good profits. Well, that is everything for now. What do you think of these WallStreetBets gains? Please let us know in the comments below. If you haven't, please subscribe and like this video. Your support helps us continue our work. Thanks again for your support, and I will see you in the next one.